And joining us now to discuss all of the updates on post-war Gaza meetings, the military expansion in Gaza City, and more is Dani Ayalon, the former Israeli ambassador to the United States. Thanks so much for being with us today, as always.
My pleasure, Shosh.
First, let's talk about this meeting that took place at the White House on Wednesday during the day. We know the Trump administration is now trying to downplay this meeting. Was there always a day after plan the United States was trying to come up with for post-war Gaza? Because we know Witkoff actually just acknowledged this for the very first time the other day. What's your take?
Well, I think what's important here, Shosh, is to note who are the participants. And for the first time, we see in this high-level meetings, including President Trump and Witkoff, of course, we see Tony Blair and we see Jared Kushner. And these two are very much involved in the day after. They're also very much involved in the comprehensive peace in the Middle East, including normalization with Saudi Arabia. So it seems like the Trump administration has a very clear picture of what would be the day after, not only in Gaza itself, where Hamas should never, ever rule there again, but also what would it mean to the region, and actually to really have a watershed change, whereby we have a new chance for prosperity, for security, isolation of Iran and all the bad guys. So I believe this was the crux of what was discussed in Washington.
Now, specifically, we know that other Arab countries also are coming up with their own plans for post-war Gaza. But how will this be decided in terms of what the plan will actually look like if so many other countries are also trying to decide what to do here?
Well, this is, Josh, still kind of a work in process, because there's still many opportunities and contingencies. For instance, the Arab countries, namely Egypt, even Saudi Arabia, maybe United Arab Emirates, are willing to commit their own military units to govern Gaza or to rule it militarily. This is something that I believe Israel could accept. Of course, when Israel has the overruling decision on any military issues, certainly when we see Hamas terrorists spring up again. But an Arab involvement, or kind of a pan-Arabic peacekeeping force, could be quite instrumental here. How to get there, this is the toughest issue here, because Hamas has to be just extricated from Gaza.
Right, and we know that recently Arab countries have also condemned Hamas being in the Gaza Strip. I want to move over to the Gaza offensive. Every day that passes, more operations around Gaza City are taking place. When do you think IDF troops will officially go into the Hamas stronghold? Do you think Hamas terrorists would just leave the city with the civilian population or stay?
That's a very good question, Shosh. You see, Hamas, if they had any consideration to their own people's lives and interest and livelihood, they would have left long ago. Not only Hamas keep their own people as hostages, but they also use them as cannon fodder, as human shields. So I think it's hard to believe that they will leave now, which means the IDF will have to have a very complex operation, but I don't think there is any other military machine in the world that can match up to IDF capabilities. So this is something which is doable. Of course, we need, as you showed in your reporting before, we have to actually evacuate as many civilians as possible before the IDF moves in.
And really quick, before we leave, I want to talk about this IPC report that declared there's famine in Gaza. We know Israel's foreign ministry wants this report retracted. What is the impact of a report like this on Israel when it comes to the global audience and global scale?
Oh, this is a major and very dangerous tool of Hamas and Israel detractors against our legitimacy, against supporting us in this self-defense war. And what is very important is to delegitimize this report, because not only they changed the criteria just for Gaza, but also we have to show the world that, when you talk about starvation, or, whether it was in Sudan or Somalia, you would see hundreds, if not thousands, of emaciated children with swollen bellies. This is not the case in Gaza, not at all. On the contrary. I mean, what Hamas has done, they have actually videoed a few, very few, less than 5 children with preconditions that have nothing to do with starvation. And then they just descend it all over the world, disseminate it all over the world. And the naive media, or the, I would say, the willful media is accepting it, and again, to detract Israel.
Yeah, Danny Ayalon, thanks so much for being with us, as always. Like I said before, a pleasure to have you on.
My pleasure.